All right, welcome back to our new segment, Quick Hitters. What's been making news since today's edition of MidPoint kicked off at noon Eastern Time? Let's drop the instant opinion today. Welcome back for her 2015 debut on the fastest 3 hours in broadcast news talk. From KHOW 630 in Denver, Colorado, Mandy Connell joins us today. Hey, Mandy, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Happy New Year, Ed.
Happy New Year. Always a pleasure. Let's get right to it. And this way we can go ahead and start making those plans to find me a place to stay in Breckenridge. Oops, sorry I said that out loud. All right, here we go. Just came off vacation. Think of the next one. Why not? John Boehner has been reelected as the Speaker of the House. I don't think it's much of a shock, but I don't know if I'd want to be the people who plotted against him at this point.
You know, this morning I spoke with Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky because I spent 3 years in Kentucky and got to know him when he was running for his first run at office, which was in the last election cycle. He voted against John Boehner.
I think John Boehner all of a sudden came in there and might have sabotaged us.
And I called it a coup with him, and he agreed. Are you there?
Okay, yeah, we're missing a little piece. Go ahead and try again. We had a little breakup in your Skype.
No problem. I was saying Thomas Massie was one of the people instrumental in this coup, and I spoke with him this morning. He was more confident than obviously he should have been, but I think that this sends an interesting message, and it's going to be really fascinating to me, Ed, to find out if the Republicans are actually going to pay attention. You know, that's the big thing. Even a failed coup still sends a message, and you know, Thomas Massie has been frozen out of a lot of fundraising by the party because of his stance in the last speaker's run, and I imagine that Louis Gohmert and some others are going to find themselves in the outcast position. But I'm wondering if the Republicans are going to take this seriously or not. I hope they do. You know, I don't know if I believe they will.
That's the next point of whether they will or not is a very good point. Meantime, the president has said he will not sign the Keystone Pipeline bill if it passes. No great shock here, but it certainly does set up the first butting of heads, exactly as everybody knew would happen in January.
And nobody can be remotely kind of a loser for the Republicans because gas prices are so low. When gas prices were sky high and everybody was sort of clamoring for this, you know, do something about energy prices, and there was this impression that the Keystone XL pipeline was going to really kind of bring down gas prices, I think that it was a much bigger issue for the American people. I'm not sure that people outside of the immediate impact of the pipeline, meaning the people that would be involved in those construction jobs or the people that would be immediately impacted in their community, I don't know if it's as big an issue as it was a year ago or a year and a half ago. So they may kind of get a moral victory of sending this to the president, having him veto it, and then they can make the argument that the all options on the table thing isn't really as important as it should be. But again, I don't know if this is much of a victory as they're thinking it might be.
If gas was still $4.50 a gallon, I think the Republicans would have a whole lot more to go on here at this point. Last minute, and here we go. This is an interesting report, speaks right to your neck of the woods. It says the number of kids treated annually for accidental pot consumption in Colorado has reached double digits. Now, it would seem that if you believe these numbers, that we have a real problem with cannabis abuse in Colorado.
Right. Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're in the beginning of some issues that need to be addressed in terms of edibles and how they're packaged, how they are distributed, how people are taking them. But I have a feeling that some of these spike in numbers are more about people being honest about what they're doing and how long they've been doing it. Whereas before, when the drug was illegal, everybody kind of wanted to hedge a little bit on what's going on. I'm not saying that kids getting a hold of marijuana or kids having a problem with marijuana is something to be made light of, because it's not, obviously. But I do see that there's a serious concerted effort in the state to keep pot out of the hands of kids. And they've done multiple stings at legal pot stores. No one is selling pot to kids legally. And I would venture, you know, I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say the same people that were selling pot illegally to kids before are probably still selling pot illegally to kids now. So the real issue is, how do you address the black market? And I think once they start to figure that out and start to clamp down, you're going to see a little bit of an evening out. I guess that's the best way to say it.
That's the best way to say it right now. Mandy Connell, KHOW 630 AM in Denver, Colorado. Always a pleasure, Mandy. Stay well. We'll talk to you again soon. And she did. All right. MidPoint continues. Time to head for the water cooler, first of 2015.